Hi, Cynthia. It's Ray Herron.
Hi, Ray. How are you?
I'm good. I'm old, so let me go first so I can go to bed.
You can go first, Ray. Ray's from Michigan, everybody. Ray Herron.
Well, good evening, everybody. Some of you may have heard my testimony the other night, but for those of you that didn't, I'll kind of tell you about what happened with me. Many of you may know Dr. Armando de Guzman in the Tucson, Arizona area. Dr. Armando de Guzman and myself and some others on this call tonight. Charlie, I'm glad you're here. Eileen, I see that you're there. I didn't call out any last names, so I'm not calling you out, but we traveled the world together and made an awful lot of money. And I've been fortunate in this industry myself personally. 37 years I've been full time, probably closer to 40 in the network marketing industry. And the good fortune I had early on was to be personally mentored by a pretty famous man by the name of Jim Rohn. Unfortunately, he's not with us today, but he taught me things that made a huge difference in my life. And what he said to me back in those days was, look, he said, and he was talking about the very industry that we're in, the network marketing industry. He said, Ray said, if you find the right opportunity at the right time, and if you built your business as if your life was hanging in the balance for 90 days, with an all out effort, you could set yourself up financially for the rest of your life. And I took that to heart, and I didn't need to pretend that my life was hanging in the balance. I had three young children at that time, married to my lovely wife Cheryl, and way behind in all my bills. Look, I'm a poor kid from Oklahoma. I was born in a house with a dirt floor, and honestly, this is the God's truth, true story. My mother told me the doctor came about 15 miles away to deliver me, and they traded three chickens to the doctor for him helping my mother deliver me. So I grew up extremely poor and just tough. And listen, I lived half of my life probably with more embarrassing moments because there wasn't enough money that I was just determined somehow in life. And I think it was God inspired, honestly, that, maybe I'd found the right thing. And I wanted desperately for my children to not experience the life that I had growing up. So I just embraced this industry and I embraced what Jim Rohn taught me. And I applied that 90-day formula four different times in my networking career and built organizations, most of them larger than probably 90% of most network marketing companies. And I certainly didn't do it alone. I'm no big deal. I had great friends like some of those on the call here tonight to help me. And I believe in this industry, but I got to tell you, you can get a little bit jaded. I've had, even though I've built four mammoth organizations, I mean, something seemed to always happen along the way. And companies were mismanaged. People spent more money than I could possibly even imagine that they could, and put the company in financial trouble, and companies got sold on me. I've had a lot of things happen, just to put it that way. So I'm a little bit jaded, but when you've done what I've done and you've been in this industry as long as I have, you know how to answer or certainly ask, not answer. I could probably answer them too. Ask some very hard questions of people that own these networking companies. And Dr. Armando de Guzman, I said no to several times. And he said, well, would you at least talk with Bill and Cynthia? And I said, I will. I will. And honestly, I'm just going to get Dr. Armando off my back. I love him dearly, but I just didn't know that I wanted to do it again. So he put me on the phone with Bill and Cynthia, and my goodness, we must have talked for probably an hour and a half. I really instantly liked these two, and I could tell their dedication to their organization and the level of support was something like really I've never experienced in this industry before. And so I liked them a great deal, but still wasn't determined to do the super patch company. I hadn't tried the patches yet. And I said, I want to talk to the owner of the company, Jay. And they arranged that. We had a Zoom call. It was quite a lengthy Zoom call, actually. And I appreciate him giving me that much time. And Bill and Cynthia sent me some pain patches. They were sitting on my dining room table for probably a couple of days. I don't know if any of you have ever experienced migraine headaches. I think some of mine was stress, probably. And that particular day, I just had an excruciating headache, and the kind of migraines that I get. I mean, listen, Advil, aspirin, Tylenol, nothing seems to help. So I grabbed one of the freedom patches out of there and just basically out of frustration, probably even anger, just slapped it right in the middle of my forehead. That's how bad my headache was. And less than 3 minutes time, my headache was completely gone. And I thought, wow, could that be coincidental? Well, actually, I know better. I mean, I've fought these migraines now for probably the last couple of years. Never was trouble with them earlier in my life, but all of a sudden now I'm getting migraine headaches. So I put the patch on, the freedom patch on, and that headache was gone in a matter of a few minutes. And it did open my eyes some for sure. Still wasn't determined that I would do this, but I have a son that's a chiropractor. He's a chiropractor with a bad back. He's a young man that spent big part of his life when he could almost started walking. He was a world class snowboarder, doing all those half pipe trips and or tricks, and he's had a lot of bad accidents, hurt his back, hurt his elbow, and that type of thing. He came to visit me. He lives about an hour and a half away. It was the next day after I'd tried the patch on my forehead that got rid of my headache. And his back was hurting him. And I said, son, would you give this a try? And I put it on his back. And in a matter of minutes, he said, Dad, what is this? Honestly, I couldn't really answer him. I mean, I knew essentially what it was. It was unique technology. I knew that. I knew that it gave me some relief. And I jokingly said it's my voodoo patch. And he said, well, whatever it is, my back quit hurting almost instantly. And now I thought, wow, what I have my hands on? Well, he went to bed early that night. He spent the weekend here with us and went to bed early that night. Woke up the next morning and asked for another patch. And I said, is your back still hurting? He said, no, I slept really good all night. I still got that patch on. My back isn't hurting at all, but my elbow's killing me. So he took a pain patch, a freedom patch, put it just above his elbow. In a matter of minutes again, he goes, Dad, what in the world is this? And I said, well, son, I'm trying to evaluate this as a business. And he said, well, you probably shouldn't miss this one. He said, I've never seen anything like that. Chiropractors are pretty intelligent people and they see a lot of things. He said, I don't know what it is, but he said, it definitely takes the pain away. Well, I've since experienced quite a bit of other results from other friends of mine, same type of thing where Cynthia's right. I mean, most cases it works almost instantly, and it's a whole lot more than just freedom pain patches, as you all know. And so, I decided I probably shouldn't keep quiet about this. I often tell my children that I'm in my last chapter of life. They don't like it when I say that, but I always tell them that. Look, I didn't say how long the chapter was. This chapter could last a long time, but I am getting up in the years, and I've decided I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And I think Super Patch is going to be one of the giants in this industry. The time I spent talking with Jay, I liked the man instantly. I could tell he was for real, he was genuine, and he absolutely is probably one of the biggest thinkers I believe I've ever seen. Obviously, a very smart guy in order to develop this technology to begin with. But when you tell me you have a goal of doing $5 billion within 5 years, you've got my attention. Nobody that I know of thinks that big. Well, I believe he's going to be able to do that with folks like us on this call tonight and with his CapEx program. I think he'll probably get there. This is the most unique thing I've ever found. There's no ingredients in this thing, nothing but technology. And for most of the people that I've tried these products on, they like them almost instantly. So I found a unique way, I think, to build a business. It's a very hard thing, and you know this. If you've been in this industry very long, you know that it's not easy. Sometimes building a network, you get people involved in your business, and they may love the product, and they don't know what to do, and they're damaged like I was growing up. Their self-image is terrible, and their self-worth is they just don't have any, and they just can't see themselves being successful. They can't see themselves talking to people. They really, absolutely, it's the toughest thing in the world to get them involved with self-development. And it's tough work, some of the hardest work that I know, and I've done hard work in my life, but that's tough. This one is a little unique. It's very unique, very different. I think I can put a patch on somebody, have them get a result, and look at me and say, "What is this, and how can I get it?" And I'll show them how to get it. So it's going to be a little different build than the things that I've been used to. I'm not going to change some of the things I've learned, but this one's going to be, I believe, a little easier than the other four. And I'm looking forward to just building a great big business. And I'll just, I'll share this with all of you here. I'm talking to myself and just letting you listen in. People ask me many times, how was I so successful? How did the organizations get so big? And I've stumbled around with an answer many times. I mean, I've had great people like those on the call with me here tonight, and I'm searching for reasons. Why was I successful? Well, it certainly didn't hurt to be mentored by Mr. Jim Rohn and learn some things, but I worked real hard, but it's because they taught me some things that I just didn't know. And I did get involved in self-development and read a lot of books, went to a lot of meetings and studied at the feet of some very, very influential people. But I know that the one thing, if I could say why I was successful, it's not because of all the things I just said. More than anything else, it was my timing. It was my timing. All four times I arrived with the company at the right time when it was young and the world didn't know about it. It was a unique product. So our timing here, it could not be better. We're at the right place at the right time. We got the right support system. Definitely got, I believe, the right owner. The products speak louder than you and I ever could. And like I said, I'm talking to myself and just letting you listen in. But here's probably, I don't remember where I learned this. Maybe I originated. I don't know. But I've always told the people in my organization that we don't fail in life because we don't know what to do. We fail when we refuse to do the very things that we already know that we need to do. We know what we need to do in our industry. We need to talk to people. You can't build these without talking to people. So, let's just don't get caught doing less than we can do. We're professional visitors. Let's visit with people. Let's slap a patch on them, show them how to get it. And we're going to be wildly successful at the Super Patch. And boy, I went on. I didn't mean to go on this long. Sorry, Cynthia, but that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'm happy to be here, and I'm having some fun again, and intend to build one more giant before the good Lord takes me home.